Okay, it's Monday. It is June 24th, and I'm done for the day. I took one tiny trade, which was sort of a break even stop out, and then I took another one, which was the nice meaty trade for the day, the good one. So essentially, what we had here was in the morning session after the New York Open, we had the Nasdaq 100 futures come down and put in a pretty strong bounce here off the daily 9 EMA. Pretty strong bounce, and I can show that bounce right there. Like so in other words, we had a huge run up here, right? Huge run up. Got kind of far away from the 9 EMA, and then we had three selling days in a row, which including today, and it kind of hit this middle of this 9 EMA band and bounced. So what that looks like is this right here. This is it. This is that bounce. So as you can see, it made a very formidable bounce up here. And I kind of was thinking when it pulled back to here that maybe there was going to be a trade. And the reason I thought that was because um, of I had I used this candle, this one, right? This strong green candle here, which represents that bounce. Let me take this one off for a second. And I use that one as the basis for my fib levels. Okay, I went to the high of that candle and the low of the preceding candle, and then kind of waited to see if price would drift back into that area. And sorry, I got to move this over a little bit like this. There we go. So it drifted back into the 61.8 level, and it started to move higher. And I also thought that I had support here from this 15-minute 9 EMA as well as VWAP. So I had three things going for me. I had the 15-minute 9 EMA, I had the 61.8 on that retrace, and I had VWAP, all three. So I bought this here thinking that maybe it was going to be a continuation play. But the one thing that was kind of telling me no, and I really wasn't listening to this little small voice in the back of my head, was this. And the RSI was only a little bit over 50%. It wasn't above 55. Usually, what you want is you want to see RSI above 55. Sometimes, if it's just coming right through like this, or sometimes if it even better if it kind of back tests it and goes up, right? So even better is if it comes up through it, back tests it, and continues. But it never got up there. It never got up there. So, but that was kind of like that was my voice of conscience saying, hey, you don't have RSI above where you need to be. But I said, in my other voice, I'm like, I have all this other support here, and I have such a strong move up, here, couldn't it just bounce, But the things that were telling me no were the fact that all my big, all my 15-minute EMAs were all pointing down still. I mean, it wasn't straight down, but they were still the colors that indicate a downtrend, like right. So the long side really wasn't the way to go. So anyway, I did buy it here. I can't remember if I bought it here, or right here, but wherever I think I bought it here, it just kind of like I didn't truly believe in it. I guess I had those voices in the back of my head saying RSI, RSI, and so I moved my stop to break even almost immediately, and it came right back down and stopped me. I was up like maybe $1,500 or something like that, but it came back down and stopped me out. I'm like, okay. Then I'm like, well, maybe it's going to be a double bottom against that level, and it came down a double bottom. But it's like part of me is like, I really don't believe it. I just that RSI on the 15 just wasn't where I like it to be for a long. So I'm like, yeah. Plus this 1 minute 9 EMA had already turned red. And I'm like, yeah, it's just it got a red 9 EMA. I got an RSI that's not where it should be. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit on my hands. And the next thing you know, price is just shooting down, right? Huge push down at 1027. Um, yeah, started 1027. So I'm like, okay, let me just sit here and watch this. I said maybe we're going to do a continuation. That was just a big fake out play based on a very legitimate a very legitimate bottom. You know, that daily 9 is legit, and that will cause a bounce. But maybe it's going to be a double bottom off that area. You know, was what I was thinking, and turned out that it looks like it went all the way almost to the bottom of that cloud. So so what I did basically is I sat there and I was like, okay, now we're getting late in this candle, right? There's no more plays in this candle. Let me redo my levels based on the new data that's come through. And so I took my data over a candle, right, and used the low of this candle and the high of this candle as the 1030 candle completed, right? 1030 candle is now complete, and I'm seeing, you know, maybe, just maybe, you know, we're going to do a continuation of this downtrend, because you could see this now has become that. I didn't know that at the time, but my RSI was now well under 45, which is, I love that area for a short on the 15 RSI. So that was lining up perfectly, right? Kind of came up, bounced off the mid level, and was shooting down. It was getting into the area between 1030 and 11, which usually you see a pretty nice move. And, you know, overall, I was like, maybe that's just a fake out or a hard bounce off the daily 9, which is going to result in a fake out to the upside and then a continuation to the downside. That's what I was kind of thinking. So I put my new levels on right here on based on this candle, the wick low of this 1015 candle, and the wick high of this 10 o'clock candle. That's where I set my levels, wick to wick, and waited to see what would happen at that point. So here's my new fib game board. And we came up and we did a bounce off the 38, which I'm not that impressed by. I mean, sometimes I've actually taken trades off here and made money, but and it was great. But I thought, well, look at the 50%. 50% is the classic level that price retraces against. We've got the 50%, and okay, we've got now we're right. It's lining up with the 15-minute 9 EMA, and that's basically the EMA that I use the primary EMA that I use to determine what trend we're in, and it's still red, right? It's kind of got pulled up a little bit and thinned out a little bit with that big bounce off the 9 EMA to start with, but then it just returned back and now it was red again. So I'm like, okay, we've got a red 15 EMA mid band here lining up with our 50% retracement level. We're under VWAP. We had a hard bounce off the 9, but usually there's not just one bounce off a level like that. That's a major level, and it usually takes a couple bounces in order for anything to really happen. So I did get in too early. I did try to pick the top on this. I should have waited for a double top or a triple top or whatever. But I had a very strong feeling about it. I didn't want to miss out on it. So I basically shorted it at I sold it at 19,933.50, which was right here. I think after that first touch, I think I got it right here. And it came up and down and up and down and up and down. But I had a 50-point stop on it because, you know, we had wide ranging, you know, ranges here. So, and my stop is based on the difference between this 78.6 level and this 23.6 level. And that was about 50 points, actually. Actually, it was about 60 points, but I think I was using the stop from the prior candle, which was about, you know, levels were about the same. So I put a 50-point stop on it, and then next thing you know, it's starting to come down. And it started to come down pretty hard. I endured this one little bounce here, and I kept trailing my stop down under it, above it, I mean, all the way down here. And then when it put in this like structural area right here, and I had 7K in profit, I'm like, let me just take it. So I tried to click out. It wouldn't work because my mouse wasn't already on the platform. I had to like click it again. By the time I clicked it again, I lost about $300 per account, or no, I'm sorry, $30 per account. So I lost about $300, but I still made $670 per account, or $6,700 overall. So I was pretty happy about that. And of course, I'm not doing any more trades after that. That was like a really good trade. In my opinion, that was like an ace trade for sure. I'm really proud of that one. I thought it worked out really, really, really well. So I'm happy about that. I'm not taking any more trades today. I'm done for the day. I don't need anything else. I'm learning how to be basically one and done. In this case, two and done, but one real trade and done. and call it a day. That's basically it. Okay, have a good one.